Hi there, I'm Ego, and this is my project for the Mantle Hackathon. Introducing NOAA. And what NOAA is a privacy preserving compliance infrastructure that unlocks institutional DeFi adoption without compromising user data. What we're talking is pretty much zero knowledge KYC for DeFi. And there is a DeFi compliance crisis. What this means is that DeFi adoption is being limited by compliance barriers, making users have to sacrifice their privacy for access. So DeFi compliance crisis ranges across the fact that there's privacy concerns that users face whenever they're interacting with DeFi protocols that require excessive personal data. There's the compliance burden, which is complex regulatory requirements creating heavy operational overhead for DeFi platforms. There's fragmented verification. What this means is that people have to do redundant identity checks across several platforms, and there's data exposure, where we have sensitive user information becoming vulnerable to breaches when stored across multiple protocols. So that's why we decided to build NOAA, which is the network for on chain authenticated handshakes. What this means is that we're providing zero knowledge proof based KYC infrastructure for DeFi, and bear in mind it's not limited to only DeFi, it has multiple use cases across several protocols and several systems. Users get to, so there are different steps for how it works. For the steps, issuers get to register credential hashes on chain, and the users generate ZK proof to match the requirements set by the issuers. Protocols can verify these proofs without seeing the data, and privacy is preserved with only the validity of the proof being checked. So the key features of NOAA is that there's the ZK Snacks, which enables the zero knowledge proofs. There's on-chain trustless verification, selective user control, and your KYC gets to be reusable across several protocols. So we have the privacy first approach, which is we prove compliance without revealing personal data to the protocols. This is done by the implementation of GOT16 ZK Snacks for the cryptographic proofs. We ensure that only the proof validity is being verified on chain, and the personal data never gets exposed to DeFi protocols. Seamless integration, and the infrastructure is also very scalable. We have plans for multi-chain support. There's mass adoption plans, and there's gasless transactions with account abstraction and an enterprise API for high throughput. Right? This now brings us to the really important part, which is the revenue model and the market opportunity. We have the protocol subscriptions where protocols can subscribe for $500 to $5,000 per month per protocol for infrastructure access. And then there's going to be issuer licensing where issuers would have to pay 10K to 50K per year, or $0.5 to 0.5 cents to $2 per credential. The market sizing, there's a $50 billion DeFi market, which means if they're able to address these markets and service them properly, we'll be able to have a share out of this $50 billion market. So on our development roadmap, we're done with the phase one where we have our smart contracts complete, secret circuits, the SDK, and the examples all complete. So by phase two, which is by Q2 of 2026, we should be able to move into the deployment, the audit, and have our first interaction with our pilot protocols. By phase three, we hope to scale and optimize, and phase four, enterprise and growth and ecosystem moves by phase five, which is around the Q4 of 2026. And yeah, so we're done with the smart contracts, we're done with the backend, the TypeScript, SDK, the React hooks, the example applications, and the contract verification. So the competitive advantages for NOAA is that NOAA privacy allows us to have ZK proofs with no data exposure, which is as compared to traditional, which does full data sharing. The user experience is valid because we have one KYC across multiple protocols, and the security is decentralized. There is no central database. It's compliant because there's selective disclosure, and users get to revoke their KYC and identity checks at any point in time. And thank you very much. So join us in building the future of privacy, preserving DeFi compliance.